Would you like to come with us on an adventure through the 100 Acre Woods? Well, stay tuned. That's where we're gonna head. Alright, hang on. Everybody, I have for you a wonderful surprise today. The Winnie the Pooh Tarot. This is not an unboxing, it's kind of a review of this amazing little card deck. I was super excited. I got this as a gift from my parents a few weeks ago, and it's just so cute, and I'm so excited to share it with you. So this is the little box it comes in. You can find this on Etsy. I believe this is the shop. Yes, Kisses from Ibiza. Although if you just look up Winnie the Pooh Tarot, you will find it. And this is the cute little box it comes in. And when you open it, let me very carefully open this, the cards, it opens up to a little scene from the 100 Acre Woods. And it's Pooh and Piglet and Christopher Robin in the background. And let's see what's on this side. Fumble, fumble, fumble. So yeah, even the box is adorable. And it's the original artwork from, bear with me for a second, E.H. Shepard. So that is what you're going to get. And what's really nice about this deck, it makes me a little sad because it is only the Major Arcana or Arcana. But I was actually thinking about it, and I was kind of understand why the creator only did the Major Arcana, because how would you determine who belongs to each suit? And the way this is done, I do kind of get it. I do hope that she eventually goes back and does the rest of the deck, because you are very limited to what you can do with just Major Arcana cards. I mean, you can still do readings with them. You may not get the full extent of it unless you want to try and use something like a deck of playing cards, although that could potentially get very confusing. But so what she does is she gives you a little explanation of what the Major Arcana are. So they're known as the trumps. From their historical origin, the Major Arcana are considered the most important group of cards in the tarot. To some, they represent universal archetypes. To others, they represent the spiritual quest of enlightenment. And so you have all 22 Major Arcana cards listed here. What I do really like here is that she gives you a how to use the Winnie the Pooh Tarot. And she gives you kind of 3 different uses for the cards. So the first one is with a blank mind, pick a card with each hand and let yourself be surprised. The left card is the emotional message, the right card is the action message. The second way you can use them is to focus on a specific issue, ache or pain. Pick a card with each hand. Left card is the cause, the right card is the solution. And the third one is for decisions. It's the traditional 3-card spread. So left card is the past, middle is the present, right is the future. So I do really like how she does that. I did work with these a little bit beforehand, which is why this isn't an unboxing. I really wanted to kind of get a feel for them before going straight in and doing this. And I will say, if you have a loved one, or if you are the person that absolutely loves Winnie the Pooh, this is a great, great gift. And she even does a little breakdown on A.A. Milne and E.H. Shepard. So you get a little breakdown on the author and the artist. And I went and put the cards back in order. So now they are in order. So you start with the Fool. And each little card has our favorite bear with very little brains in the middle of a classic image. It says the name of the card, and then there's a little quote from the books with the meaning of the card. So You have the Fool. Once upon a time, a very long time ago now, about last Friday, Winnie the Pooh lived in a forest all by himself under the name of Sanders. New beginnings, trust in life for the Fool. You have the Magician. After breakfast, he said it over and over to himself until he had learnt it off by heart, and now he was humming it right through properly. Action, the power to manifest. What's really cute about all of these is so you have your classic artwork. I know I just said this, I think. The name, the little quote, and the meaning of the card. This is the priestess, the high priestess. So this is why I can, and here we have the Empress. Yeah, okay. The only thing is that the Emperor. Now here we have Eeyore. And then, I'm not asking anybody, said Eeyore, I'm just telling everybody. We can look for the North Pole, or we can play. Here we go gathering nuts in May, with the end part of an ant's nest. It's all the same to me. Structure, stability, rules, and power. So each card that they represent, depending on who's talking, they have a quote for that. So here's the Hierophant, or the Hierophant, depending on how you pronounce it. Oh no, how did they already get dirty? I haven't had them that long. That's frustrating. Okay. What does crustimony poppy seed mean, said Pooh. For I am a bear of very little brains, and long words bother me. So institutions, tradition, society, and rules. And here he is outside Owl's house. And no, I will say that if you get these at home, like the little writing on the signs, you can't see on the cards. Here's the Lovers. So it's a conversation. This one's a conversation between Christopher Robin and Winnie the Pooh. I see now, said Winnie the Pooh. I have been foolish and deluded, said he, and I am a bear of no brain at all. You are the best bear in all the world, said Christopher Robin soothingly. Huh. The Chariot. This is kind of funny for the Chariot. And then you have, I like how there's Kanga and Roo and Eeyore at the top of the stairs waiting. So some of the quotes do match. Sometimes, I'm not sure, some of the readings I did, I haven't worked with these a whole lot. So I feel like in time it won't seem too disjointed, but it does give a slightly disjointedness to it in the beginning. Pooh and Rabbit watching Kanga. I'm trying to get it so you don't have a glare. Here we are, said Rabbit very slowly and carefully, all of us. And then suddenly we wake up one morning, and what do we find? A stranger among us. Courage, subtle power, integration of animal self. The Hermit. But Pooh, said Piglets, it's your own house. Oh, said Pooh. So it is, he said. Well, let's go in. Meditation, solitude, and consciousness. I just love these so much. Winnie the Pooh, that was my guy when I was a kid growing up. The Wheel of Fortune. I think this is fun too. Like, if you have any of the original books, you could probably go back and find some of this artwork. And like, even in, I feel like some of the the cartoons that were done, maybe the older cartoons from like the 70s and the 80s, you might even see some of these match up a bit in like glimpses. "Oh, Bear," said Christopher Robin, "how I do love you." "So do I," said Pooh. "Fairness, equality, and balance." The Hanged Man. So this, traditionally, I mean, for the Hanged Man, you would see someone hanging upside down, but here we just have Winnie the Pooh and Piglet wandering in the snow. So the imagery is not, if you're used to the Rider-Waite deck, none of the imagery is going to sync up. Which is like, so as I mentioned, I was sad that she didn't do all of the suits, but the way this is done with the traditional artwork, I can kind of understand, because how do you decide who fits in what? So I think if we want to go literal, Owl would probably be air. Temperance. I love little sad little Eeyore by the river. They don't think. That's what's the matter with some of these others. They've no imagination. A tail isn't a tail to them. It's just a little bit extra at the back. Balance, moderation, being sensible. So that's the thing. So if we want to go literal, I think you could make Owl air. You could probably make Rabbit earth. So Owl would be your suit of swords. Rabbit, or no, I'm sorry. Yeah, Owl would be the suit of swords for air. Rabbit would be the suit of pentacles for earth. I feel like Tigger is a great representation of fire and the wands with just that boundless energy. So yeah, you can see like for the devil card, you know, there's nothing sinister about this. This is the one where the 100 Acre Woods gets flooded and he gets stuck out sitting on the branch. The one that's a little, I think, off for me is who would be water. I don't know if it would be someone like Piglet or maybe Eeyore. But I think you could do a lot of fun with the people cards. So here's the tower. And you know, there's nothing really collapsing. What's the quote? "I shall do it," said Pooh after waiting a little longer, "by means of a trap, and it must be a cunning trap, so you will have to help me, Piglet. Collapse of stable structures, release sudden insight." But yeah, I think you could probably have a lot of fun with the people cards in that you could make Pooh the king, you could make Kanga all of the queens, you could have Rue as the pages, and then you could have Eeyore as the knight. Obviously, instead of a knight, he would be kind of the faithful steed. But that's for the star. Oh, I like how, I don't know if it's originally like that, but how Owl's kind of illuminated. "Oh," said Pooh, and then seeing that Owl expected him to say something else, he said, "Will there be those little cake things with pink sugar icing? Hope, calm, a good omen." So that would be good, but I'm thinking more, in my mind, I'm kind of thinking more of the modern animation of Winnie the Pooh, not the traditional one like you see here. So, hello, the moon. "Hello, Rabbit," he said. "Is that you?" "Let's pretend it isn't," said Rabbit, "and see what happens." I wonder if Rabbit was afraid if Pooh would ask for some honey and get stuck in his rabbit hole. Now this one fits with the sun in the background. When you wake up in the morning, Pooh," said Piglet at last, "what's the first thing you say to yourself?" "Success, happiness, all will be well." Here's Judgment. This is another one from when he got stuck in the rain and had to go sailing on the umbrella. Pooh himself said something so clever that Christopher Robin could only look at him with mouth open and eyes staring, wondering if this was really the bare, very little brain whom he had known and loved so long. Rebirth, a new phase, inner calling. And then here we get to the end, we get to the world. This is what happens. You go after the honey. This is the reward at the end. And that, as that is really the end of the story, and I am very tired after the last sentence, I think I shall stop there. Completion, wholeness, attainment, and celebration of life. So, that is the Winnie the Pooh Tarot. I could, I guess, try to do a reading for you. So, when you only have one hand and you can't really shuffle, this is a great way to just shuffle. No one has to see what you're doing. Of course, now the cards are all gonna be all mixed up. Oh, maybe not. I'm not really getting them to mix the way I want them to. There we go. Maybe now they will. No, don't flip over. I feel like this is a deck that it might take a little getting used to, but it's just so cute and adorable, and it just makes me happy. It really does. It really does make me happy. The wording on the cards, because I'm not used to reading some of, it's not Old English, but it's a slightly older variant, or just the phrasing is different. It might be a little clumsy when you go to read these at first until you kind of get used to the writing. Alright, so let's see. What do we want to know? Let's see how the weekend's going to go. So we'll ask the cards. How's the weekend going to be? I was just shuffling for the sake of shuffling. Now I actually will ask a question. And we'll see what we're going to get. How is the weekend going to go? I do not normally recommend shuffling your cards like this. I actually have a friend who is not, she has a hard time shuffling cards, so this is what she does. And because I've only got the one hand right now, it's the best I can do. So I know it's kind of slapdash, but we're gonna do what we can. Alright. Okay, and then we're gonna pick two cards. And this one. So what did we get? We got the Tower. Collapse of stable structure, release and sudden insight. And this is the Hanged Man reversed. Alright, so meditation. So in the reverse, I don't have the symbols memorized, but normally, since this would be solitude and consciousness, it probably means I'm going to be out with people since it's reversed, and which I am actually going to be. I am going to be out with people this weekend. I have a party to go to. Collapse, release, and I'm going to go with the release and sudden insight, because that's been the theme of the last few days. The original videos I had planned for you, the universe decided to put the kibosh on. They're like, no, don't do those things. Well, what would you like me to do? So I never got the chance to do the meditations that I wanted to figure out what would be better. So that's why you have this review, and that's also why I wanted to know in the community post if you would like to see more of these. Like, do you want me to review more? This just makes me so happy. You have no idea just how happy this deck makes me. It's just so flippin' cute. Alright, so now that we've gone over all of the cards, so I am going to add, though, I think I mentioned this, but I'm going to go into it a little bit more. So because these don't have the traditional imagery on them of the Rider-Waite deck that I think a lot of people use, that's your traditional tarot deck. If you work with the different decks that have different imagery, then you're probably used to it. So these, I think, you are going to take a little bit of time to get accustomed to and to work with and to figure out the meaning with. These are probably a really great set of cards. I haven't tried this yet. To work with if you do mediumship and cards, or depending on how you do your own card readings. This is probably a really great, this might be a really great deck to get those individualistic readings, to really kind of go a little deeper, because the imagery is so different and it is so sweet, and there's probably a lot of people may have connections, maybe not so much to, like, say, the bottom of the card or how it identifies, but they may have a connection to the image on the picture, or, you know, to the characters that are depicted. Like, here's Pooh and Piglet, Christopher Robin and Pooh. There's just Christopher Robin and Owl. So they may make connections more to the actual image rather than maybe the card, or it's a little bit of both. So it would be really interesting to see how different people's methods work with these cards. But I think they're just, they just make me happy. Like, they just make me so happy. I intend to work with them a lot more than I have gotten the chance to. It's been kind of busy and screwy getting ready for Thanksgiving, and having some events early in December, so trying to pull down stuff and get ready, not quite for Christmas, but heading in that direction. So and I also have a lot of different decks that I work with, so each one is good, and it's always good to try different decks because you get different things with different decks, and maybe there's something about this that will resonate with you. This is also good maybe if you just want to familiarize yourself with the Major Arcana and don't want to bother with the Minor Arcana, or just want to get a feel for it. You know, this isn't going to replace your standard tarot deck, because it is missing all of the suits and all of the other symbols and imagery, but it's a nice supplemental deck, or if you just want to do simple readings. So it really is nice. It's a really nice deck to have, especially if you are, again, just a lover of Winnie the Pooh, or he holds a special place either in your heart or even a loved one. This is a really great Christmas gift. So, well, until we meet again, take care. I hope you've enjoyed our slight walk through the 100 Acre Woods and a visit with some old friends. So take care, and until we meet again, bye!